search for the next Chief Justice will soon roll after the Supreme Court ruled with finality, removing Maria Lourdes Sereno from the post. The screening body for applicants now faces a huge task to make sure there won't be a repeat of Sereno's case. A legal expert says the Judicial and Bar Council cannot afford even a tiny mistake. Our Justice correspondent Anjo Alimario has more.
In less than a decade, the country witnessed two chief justices removed from their post, either by impeachment or quo warranto. The spotlight is now on the Judicial and Bar Council, or JBC, to choose the best set of candidates for the next Chief Justice. Sereno argues the JBC failed to exclude her from the shortlist for her lack of statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth, as she claims having substantially complied with all the requirements. But the court in its historic ruling said her inclusion in the short list does not negate nor supply her with proof of integrity. UST Law Danilo Divina says the process in selecting the next top magistrate must be flawless.
The JBC will have to be very careful to exercise utmost diligence in the evaluation of the documents to determine the qualifications of the next Chief Justice.
JBC regular member Jose Mejia though sees no changes.
We've always been very strict. Actually, you cannot apply anymore if your requirements are lacking. In fact, you will not even be interviewed.
Mejia says the next step is to publish the opening of the application and nomination.
You can apply directly, or you can be nominated by another entity or another person. But you have to have your conformity. Kailangan merong explicit na pagpayag yung ninonominate. That completes the whole process for you to be considered as an applicant or a nominee.
Divina says the next Chief Justice must be a unifier.
I think we need a Chief Justice that can unite the Supreme Court and can likewise, in their own way of interpreting the Constitution, the law, unite the whole country.
He points out the safest choice to lead the Supreme Court is someone from the inside and who is the most senior member of the court.
One of the issues against the former Chief Justice was basically she bypassed everybody. She deprived everyone the chance of being appointed to the Supreme Court.
And with Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio closing his door to any nomination for the Chief Justice post,
the next logical choice would be Justice Diosdado Peralta, being the most senior.
Divina was a former student of Peralta at UST Law.
Based on the decisions of Justice Peralta, there is no reason to believe that he will not be independent.
President Duterte gets to choose the next Chief Justice from the JBC short list. It's up to him if he will follow the seniority tradition. But as for Carpio, Divina says he will go down in history as the best Chief Justice this country never had.
Citing the need for transparency, the government panel wants the public consulted on its peace talks with the communist movement. But our senior correspondent David Santos reports there are still many questions about the possible resumption of the negotiations.
When President Duterte decided last week to put on hold the peace talks with the communist movement, Presidential Peace Advisor Jess Dureza had a suggestion.
Sabi ko, Mr. President, let's engage the public.
Since the government pulled out of the formal negotiations a year ago, back-channel talks have been held to restart it. After months of back-and-forth informal talks, they achieved major breakthroughs. The two panels agreed to continue with the fifth round of formal negotiations before the end of June. They also signed a number of documents, including a stand-down agreement which the government had proposed. Anticipation was high, but it turned out to be a letdown when President Duterte decided to delay the talks again for at least 3 more months. The reason? He needed to review the documents. Some observers, however, find this rather odd. When the government panel led by Secretary Silvestre Bello signed the documents in conformity, it was presumed that they had consulted and had sought the approval of the President as their principal.
Not just a presumption. It was an accepted fact because that was what the government panel was telling the NDF panel.
The stand-down agreement, for example, appears to be a contentious document. It is similar to previous unilateral ceasefire declarations, the NDF panel points out, but a DND spokesman could not say if the government panel consulted Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana about it. Lorenzana had raised some concerns, including on this clause, as is where is, to refer to the movement of forces from both sides when the stand down is in effect.
Pag sinabing as is where is, nasaan sila talaga? So that is something that we have to work out. Clarify natin.
Aside from having to consult the President and the Cabinet to justify the delay of the talks, the government panel now also wants to do public consultations.
And I can't, for the life of me, understand why the peace talks have to be suspended or recessed just so you could consult the people.
Casambre says public consultations have been held since the peace talks began in the early 90s. The panels are already pushing for an interim peace agreement due to the delay of the current negotiations for a year, unprecedented but also likely controversial. The interim peace agreement proposes staggering socio-economic reforms such as massive land reform and national industrialization. These could trample on the interests of prominent business owners and foreign companies. The government panel appears to have endorsed this agreement, but then again, did the President approve it?
Controversy continues to hound the PNP's anti-tambay sweep, and there's been public outrage following the death of Genesis Tisoy Argoncillo, who ended up dead while in police custody. But President Duterte insists he never ordered the police to arrest tambays. Speaking last night in Davao City, the president said he knows loitering is not a criminal offense. He added arrests would only be made if people used roads as an extension of their homes. He said, however, as the father of the nation, he could advise minors to stay off the streets and go home.
If you are drinking dyan sa alley, yung mga squatters area, if you are there making sala out of the road there, huhulihin talaga. Dito sa Davao, wala kang makita kung ganun. Pasyal kayo. Saka yan tambay. I never said arrest them. Pagka nito mga, bakit ninyo? Why don't you at least listen o i-rewind mo yung ano yung sinabi ko? Baka sinabi ko, do not, you go home. If you are a minor, under the power of parents patria, you are the father of the nation. You can always give an advice for people gaya ng minors. Yang nakahubad ka, if you are unruly, talagang sabihin ko, uwi ka o di, arestado ka. That is a police power of the state. Now, let them contest it sa Supreme Court.
There have been twists and turns in the investigation of Genesis Tisoy Argoncillo's death. The police insist there is no cover-up. Meanwhile, our senior correspondent Cecil Ardizabal talked to witnesses who described events leading to Tisoy's arrest.
This is the narrow passageway leading to the residence of Genesis Argoncillo alias Tisoy, who was arrested by the police due to alarm and scandal. The distance from the main road to Argoncillo's place is about 200 meters. Witnesses led CNN Philippines to the store where Argoncillo was arrested by the police along with a neighbor. They tell us what transpired that fateful night of June 15.
Nandiyan po kasi nakaupo yung hinuli. Nagsisil po, nakataas yung dalawang paa. May katabi pong basiyo ng Red Horse. Pinahawak po sa kanila, dalawa kasi po sila.
Pero nag-inuman po sila?
Hindi po, basiyo lang yung bote, nasa likod niya.
Okay.
Bali, sabi po ng pulis, ebidensya ito, sabi nung isa. Picture, sabi niya. Hawakan niyo ito, pipicturan. Ebidensya ito, dalahin yung bote, sabi po ng isang pulis.
May ginagawa bang gulo yung dalawa na nahuli?
Wala po, nanonood po sa cellphone.
Another witness shares the same account.
Si cellphone po sila dalawa, pero yun nga po walang damit. May nakita po kasing pulis yung bear na walang laman. Hindi ko nga po na liligpit. Binabalik po nila yung bote, hindi ko po napansin na may mga basiyo po doon. Pinakuha po sa kanila yung dalawang bear. Tag-isa-isa po sila, pinicturan.
Argoncillo's body is now back home. The police says they're conducting a thorough investigation on his death. Initial medical examination certified that Argoncillo died of difficulty of breathing and that there were no signs of external injury. But later on, police revealed that the cause of his death was multiple blunt force trauma in some parts of his body. Police admits on Friday that Argoncillo was beaten up the day before he died, a crucial detail not revealed to the media on Thursday.
Doon nga nabugbog. At nung gabi nung 18, 19 kinabukasan, 5 dumaing na ng panyanikip ng hininga at naisugod naman sa ospital pero na-declare na patay na yung si Tisoy.
A statement clarified by the chief of the Quezon City Police District.
Beating apart, hindi pa namin alam yan kasi nga, ang report pa lang namin, he was complaining of difficulty in breathing.
Esquivel swears there's no cover-up in the investigation.
Just to set the record straight, I did not cover up anything. I was standing by the report that was given to me and that we did not change any tune of the investigation.
Esquivel has relieved the station commander, jailer, staff duty officer, shift patrol supervisor, and desk officer of Station 4. 2 suspects, Richard Bautista and Justin Mercado, were slapped with murder charges. Amidst their grief, the family of Tisoy has only this to say for now.
Kaya Presidente, nanawagan ako sa inyo, pumunta ka dito para makita mo yung kung anong ginawa sa kapatid ko.
Workers at NutriAsia continue to camp out near the company's plant in Marilao, Bulacan. They're protesting alleged illegal contractualization. Our Makoy Popioco tells us labor officials vow to resolve the matter next week.
Labor officials vow to release their final orders next week. The order will identify which entity commits illegal contractualization. Is it NutriAsia or the service providers that hire the plant workers? Labor Undersecretary Joel Manglungsod says a labor inspection evaluation done earlier this year found out that there is labor-only contracting at NutriAsia. And this is now the basis for the re-evaluation to determine which entity does the illegal contractualization. Manglungsod, however, clarifies the decision will not yet be final as NutriAsia or the service providers could file an appeal.
In the event na yung mag-a-appeal na yung management dito sa office rules, pabilisin din namin yan. Kasi nakaano ngayon medyo priority yan dahil may dispute ngayon sa loob ng pagawaan. O despite na dami naming mga dito appeal cases, so isa yan sa priority namin kagad.
In a statement, NutriAsia maintains it does not engage in illegal contractualization. Company spokesperson Thelma Meneses says the workers are employees of service providers. NutriAsia works with a total of 6 service providers here in its Marilao plant. Meneses says they continue to work toward a peaceful resolution to this labor dispute. At least 150 workers gather at the picket line here outside the plant, regularly doing noise barrage. They have camped out here for almost a month now.
Hindi namin bibitawan yung pikit na to hanggat walang binababa ang NutriAsia at ang dole na regularization para sa amin. Na ang kahilingan ng mga manggagawa talaga ay magkaroon ng kasiguruhan sa trabaho at magkaroon ng sapat na pamumuhay na sahod at karapatan magunyon.
Nagkakaisang manggagawa ng NutriAsia Vice President Alvin Lascano says they have set up or they will set up tents where the workers will temporarily stay. He adds some individuals and groups have also extended help, including food, clothing, and other supplies.
President Duterte explains why he prefers men in government posts and not women. Speaking in Davao City last night, the president says it is easier to give orders to men.
Ayaw ko ng babae. Ayaw ko talaga ng babae. Gusto ko lalaki kasi marami akong utos. Suddenly, I would just tell you, you go to Marawi because nobody is supervising them. Ito, paggawa ko ba yan sa babae, pasubo mo.
But the president is quick to point out he is not a woman hater. He even shares that in 1989, he intervened to save 16 women and a child taken hostage in a penal colony. Women's groups have repeatedly called out the president for supposed misogynistic remarks. Last month, President Duterte said some jobs are better suited for men. And when Maria Lourdes Sereno was ousted as Chief Justice and Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales set to retire, the president said he neither wants a politician nor a woman to replace them.